Yeah, it's your boy E3, son of the legendary Godfather, gangster rap, Eric Easy, right? And yeah, you rockin' with NUGL TV. You know, we rich and ruthless, baby. Once again, NUGL TV, rich and ruthless, baby. We choose to keep it real. Really though.
NUGL TV. We're back again with another edition of some very enlightening stuff. I'm Big A, your host for today. And to my right, I have my co-host, Mr.
Threester, E3.
The
You
E.
know me.
The E.
E the third, E to the third power.
I
Baby
love
Easy.
I love that.
If you know me, you know me. If you
It's
don't,
always
you know
on.
me now.
It's always on.
But other than that, it's a good day today.
It's a beautiful day.
We have a VIG, like I always say.
Yes.
A very important guest.
Yes.
You know, Joseph, Chicas. Tell the people about yourself and how'd you got here today. You're rocking with the 3 and Big A on NUGL TV.
You hear me?
Yeah.
You feel me?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It's an honor being in your guys' presence. Appreciate the work
No
you guys do
doubt.
to spread the message, spread the love, and get industry folks get this information out to people that really need it.
You know what we need to do? We got to start this off right with some good frequency. Let's give Mr. Joseph Chicas a round of applause for coming down here to Chico,
Thanks,
California to deal with this
Yeah.
NUGL community.
Yeah.
Right? It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
I've been hearing a lot about you, Joseph, and it's a pleasure and an honor, and I'm honored to have you sitting here today. I've been doing some hearing about you, and your story is quite interesting, and I love that you are tackling this. And this is what this platform is about, is bringing this community together to get the word out, basically within your network and our reach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit of information about the Cannabis Advising Partner, CBT.
Yeah. So, really interesting. So again, born and raised city of Los Angeles.
Yes.
The best city in the world.
Man.
And seeing
Tell it
all
like
the
you know it.
yeah, man, all the development that's happening here now.
Yeah.
And the prosperity that's coming to the city is definitely a blessing being born and raised here.
Yeah.
I'm a product of both of our local schools, UCLA and USC, where I studied political science and public policy.
Wow.
I used to work for Mayor Eric Garcetti in the city of LA, helped him kick off his Office of Veteran Affairs,
Love it.
which helped hire about 10,000 veterans in the city of LA, and went back and actually taught at USC. I was one of the youngest professors teaching social work policy, teaching our students how we wrap our hearts and our minds around issues like homelessness. You know, we're obviously dealing with an epidemic of homelessness here in the city and across the country. So working with students at USC and teaching them strategies that I learned while in City Hall has been a recent focus of mine. But on the cannabis space, man, having worked for the mayor and ran up and down the halls of City Hall, and I see we got another guest here, my former colleague, Luis Rivera, who used to work in the mayor's office as well,
Hey.
running the hall. Yeah, let's
Good
get
for
him.
Louis.
a round
We'll
of
get him in
applause.
here.
Yeah,
He's
when
gonna
he
get
gets
in here and sit
yeah,
and
he's
chop
gonna
it
have
up.
his time.
Yeah.
But essentially running the halls of City Hall and getting to meet a lot of the players and the power brokers of the halls, that it turns out is actually of huge value in the cannabis industry.
Yes, it is, man.
And so I just had random people and friends come to me and say, "Hey, we're trying to get a license in the city.
Yes.
You know how to operate in the city. You got good
Yes.
relationships. Help
Yes.
us navigate the process."
Yes.
So I've been doing that for the last couple of years. I built up quite a clientele, basically walking people through the whole process of obtaining licenses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then transitioning from the illicit market to the legal
Absolutely.
market. And that's been a big objective of ours for sure.
You know what? That is such a blessing. You know, the powers that be, positive frequency, positive energy. You know, I was just telling the CEO of the company what I foresee with the NUGL business and what I wanted to see, the integration of compliance consulting, you know, using this platform to bring in people like you so we can kind of co-partner up because, you know, coming from the streets of Compton, South Central Los Angeles, just the West Coast, I came up on the illicit side of the marijuana industry. Okay, and one thing I know now because of the recreational and the medical side of the medical marijuana industry and this culture we have, I've been taking a real good grasp on the legal side and who needs the help to get into compliance. A few of our friends that we know in the industry are doing these, community events. I would say community events.
Yes.
Okay.
Best way.
And within those community events, they have social vendors that come there to display their products and stuff. And I know by us dealing with different cannabis festivals and stuff, how the state of California and the local police departments are really cracking down on the illegal side. So I was telling the CEO that we should start that type of company or partner with someone so we can go to these events knowing that they're in the gray area, because a lot of the vendors out there, growers and solicitors and distributors, are still in the gray area. They're still thinking it's what it was a few years ago before we voted in for medical, when it was we voted in recreational when it was medical. You know what I mean? You can carry, you can grow, and the shops weren't getting rated as much. But when they brought in that new law, was that 215 or something like that? Those guys that was making all that, generating all that revenue, kind of got pushed to the back burner because of compliances.
Right.
My cohort, my feeling is, because I have so many friends and business associates that's doing that, how can we assist them from our platform to get people like you to connect, because they don't know.
Oh, for sure.
They want to do it right because they want to participate at these festivals. The festival venues is cracking down on the promoters. The promoters are supposed to push the line on making sure every vendor should be in compliance or whatever they do, whether it's manufacturing, distribution, the selling. So I was thinking to come to companies like you, and it's a blessing that you're here so we can talk more about that.
Compliance is the name of the game.
Compliance is the name of the game. Even starting the compliance paperwork is very important.
From the very beginning,
yes,
to get in the game, it's all about compliance, developing your standard operating procedures, which outlines how your business is going to run, presenting your business plan, all the assumptions of your business that you're putting in there financially, how are you going to market your business, how is that marketing going to be compliant, because there's some things you can't do and can do relative to marketing. Your security plan, how is your facility going to be secure, where are your cameras going to be installed, how are you going to manage inventory. They got this thing called track and trace, which is crazy because essentially the goal is to be able to track products from the moment that they're planted to the moment that they're sold to a consumer. So there's actually tracking mechanisms that follow plants across the whole supply chain. System. Exactly. So it's a whole new ball game.
You remember when we went
and it kind of crack your head open like, oh man, there's so much involved. But and a critique of the system here is that the regulations are designed not because of reason or because of it makes good policy. They're really designed out of fear for the illicit market to continue. And so a lot of the regulations, it's over-regulation. There's no sound basis to some of the guidelines, some of the rules that we have to follow as operators. So understanding those things where you can kind of like work within the law, but also not take away from your business. There's strategies and tactics to all of it.
You know what I've been noticing, because I like that E3 is here because he'll have his own brand and he's getting a lot of good information.
Congrats.
Being my co-host and being one of the producers of this show, we don't want to touch his brand until we have all our ducks in the row. You know what I mean? Because of the relationship and who he is. So it's a pleasure having him on the side to grab this game and meeting people like you to assist him in his E3 Ether OG.
E3 OG, that's right.
E with the tiny 3 at the top, E to the third power. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
Scientific on it. But
that's the key thing, because what's going on is the states that I noticed. See, you're in there. I'm in there. I'm coming from there. And what I see is going on right now. Everybody, hey man, it's a drought. See, they don't know what we're talking about down here in our communities and what's going on in the streets. They're not connected. But there's a drought, okay? So you go into a local dispensary who has this license because of certain zoning rules and stuff. You know, there's some still rocking and rolling. and the ones that's rocking and rolling is not getting that California fire because of the drought. Now the drought is here because of the outside resources that's coming in, buying up the farms, because this local farmer who's been farming for 15, 20 years can't get his product into the market because of what?
Somebody else.
Compliance.
Someone else.
Because of all the compliance regulations and rules. So he's saying, hey, I'm going to dump my product to this guy coming from out of town.
Yeah, I need it.
I'm buying
All of it.
every plant you got.
Everything you have.
And matter of fact, here's a down payment on your next crop.
Exactly. And it
So
is
the
not
product is
available.
not getting to the locals, and and the stuff that it is getting through is boo-boo.
Right. No, it's a great point. All the product has to get tested, as you guys know. The
Should.
testing
It
standards.
should.
Yeah, it's true.
And everybody
One thing
don't
I
do
love
it.
about the
Right.
legal market,
Yep.
right, the compliant market, is that we actually know the type of product we're consuming.
Yes.
We know a lot more of the product that we're consuming now
Yes.
than we've ever known.
Right.
Because of the mandatory testing that happens.
Yes.
But the challenge with that is you do have a lot of small farmers, especially up north, who have basically been regulated out of the market, essentially, right? Because maybe their product didn't pass the complete testing.
Yep.
Now they got a bunch of crop that they're sitting on that didn't pass testing. They can't get it into a legal dispensary because they're not trying to take that risk on. And now, what's the other alternative, right? And I think the alternative goes back to
Yeah, I mean,
buyer.
it's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's going on.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gray area black market again.
Yeah.
You know,
And it's hitting a lot of our folks. It's
hitting
small
a
business
lot.
owners.
Yes, it is.
Black and brown folks, black and brown farmers up north, a
Yeah.
lot, even white farmers that have been in the game for quite some time, who have been depending on this source of income for quite some time. It's a shame what's happening, actually.
Now I have you here. We're on that. And it's good, really good information, because that's what it's about. Pushing information. And so give us the roadmap to a California cannabis license, whether it's distribution, manufacturing, or retail.
Right, yeah. So let me just set some high-level context here.
High level, some context.
So Prop 64 passed in 2016, so we're now going into year 2, really, of implementation.
Prop
of that.
16 is...
Prop 64, right, which legalized recreational cannabis in the state.
Right.
One central part of that law was that it created a twofold system, right, where you need local authorization to get the state license. So your local city has to sign off on it before anything.
Yes.
And once you get local authorization, then when you apply for the state, it's pretty much a given that you're going to get the license.
Okay.
It's just a formality at that point.
Okay.
So what that means is that a lot of our local government have power.
Yes.
Right? And so that's a great thing, and it presents some challenges. On the one end, 66% of cities across the state of California aren't even legal yet.
Right.
They still have prohibition. You can deliver in these cities, but you can't open up a dispensary, a cultivation facility,
That's why you
manufacturing.
would see 1,000 cars on weed maps on the map in a specific city and no shops at all because of that. So I now I see hearing that, I wouldn't have never known. I would have just thought, and in most of those places they have it.
And that was a big policy battle. There was a big fight for, especially led by the small cities that are anti-cannabis, for them to be able to ban delivery coming into their city.
Boom, and then out.
But then, thanks to individuals like Ryan Bacchus, California Cannabis Coalition, the Veterans Cannabis Coalition, these are like statewide advocacy groups. They were able to push back against that, and basically delivery is still alive. You can deliver to a city that prohibits cannabis as long as there's track and trace and they're a licensed delivery company.
Wow.
It will be okay. Cool. So I say that to say, because licensing starts with your local city. Does your local city offer the type of cannabis license that you're seeking?
Let me tell you the power in my local city.
Yeah.
The city of Compton.
Yeah.
I do.
When's Compton? What's going on with Compton?
Well, what's Compton is called?
Yeah.
It's called third to the fifth power. 3 votes knocks down any application, anything.
Yeah.
So we had local council members who band together, those 3. No. The mayor put something on the table. They don't like it. No.
Mayor Aja Brown, right?
Yes,
How is she on cannabis?
You know, okay,
is
now
she open?
she's open for cannabis because her husband is in the cannabis industry.
Oh,
See, there's a lot of politics in the politicians.
oh,
You know,
you ain't lying.
she's with it. Okay, one of my council member, Councilman Govan, is with it. Okay, I sit down with my council members and I tell a lot of my homeboys that's in the business to reach out to your local council member and build a relationship moving forward. So I got into the zoning platform. It was approved to have the retail, the manufacturing, and the distribution because Compton is a central hub city. It has the warehouse area for the grow, farmland for outdoor. It's center, and a lot of outside influences was coming into city council to make that happen. And the city wants it to be for local.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those three is an advocate knowing who's applying for this, and they're saying no, it should be somebody within the Compton so it can benefit Compton, especially for the taxes. Because, and what I know that since I've been dealing with the city and the zoning platform, okay, because we have business partners within us that were actually wanting to do it legally and was getting shut out. Now, the zoning of Compton is kind of tricky because it borders on Long Beach and some LA County separates Compton. So because of LA County is approving local dispensaries and the city of Compton is not, there's local dispensaries in Compton, but in the county of Los Angeles that's rocking and rolling 24/7, and the city can't do nothing about it because it's out of their zoning, you know, which is some of the politics and some of the tricks of the trade in the game. But I learned something. Out of 3 council members can vote down anything.
Yeah,
and it's what it is. So we just changed it by getting out the vote. Our community pushed to change a couple of seats. We granted 2 people of us to get in there. So things are not going to be such a wrenched turn right now. You know what I mean? A lot of us in the business start pushing it to our friends to get out and vote. So, because it was a catastrophe of 100,000 people in the city of Compton, only maybe 5,000 was voting, registered voters.
Oh, wow.
So we put the word out. I have 10,000 contacts myself within my community. So I was telling them I'm going to run for mayor. You know what I mean? There's local city council.
Are we making the announcement?
But I could. But I understand the power it be on conversations. So now that before it was the congregations, the church congregations, and the elders who was voting. So the elders, and I went to city council a couple of times and let the elders know, you know, you want to vote this down, but it's going to benefit you because if you vote it down, your next door neighbor's going to be rocking and rolling, and that's going to be closer to you. So I'd rather for you to vote yes on this and have it at a central location that can be monitored and watched where your house won't be a victim of the traffic. It'll go back to the underground. So
yeah, and I think it helps painting the full story of the plant and its medicinal benefits, which are documented pretty well. Of course, there's still a lot of research that needs to get done. And once cannabis gets descheduled as a Schedule I drug federally, then that's going to open up the door even more. But being able to articulate how people's lives have literally been changed by this plant, like people's lives literally been saved. Cancer patients that have extended their lives 5, 10, 15 years because of the plant. Kids that are suffering from seizures who now they take CBD or with a little tiny bit of THC, and you know their seizures are gone away, or they've gotten much better control of them. They went from 30 seizures a week to 2 or 3 a week, and that's quality of life issues that we have to continue sharing that narrative. That the plant is actually medicinal as well.
What I just noticed, what I just found out actually, I have a family member that's in the hospital. They just found out they had cancer and haven't been eating. So I was like, wow, because they want that person's weight to get bigger and the appetite's not there. So I was like, wow, they need to give him something like marijuana. She said they are giving it. Is it called Metadol or something like that? There's a prescription pill that the doctor's giving patients right now to give them appetite, and which it is THC. So they're there. And I'll get the name, but I think it's like awesome. Metadol or something like that they said this person is taking.
Yeah.
So I found out that this morning. I'm like, wow, so the government is moving on it.
Big Pharma's coming. They're coming.
Right,
And
right.
it's gonna get real interesting when that happens.
You located in Long Beach?
Yeah, so
Oh,
our
the company
headquarters.
is Long
Yeah,
Beach,
so
yeah.
our headquarters for Cannabis Advising Partners is in Long Beach. We've got a staff of about 20 staff members.
Wow.
We've been around doing environmental compliance for like 20 years now. So we come out of an environmental compliance background where we were making sure that these wineries and farms across the state of California were being compliant with water laws,
Yes.
which are very strict in the state of California, environmental friendly state. So we're operated out of there and got a team that's working around the clock, especially City of Los Angeles is about getting ready to open up for licensing September 3rd. We're especially excited about that opportunity because 250 retail licenses have been earmarked for individuals that meet the social equity criteria.
Okay.
You'll hear a little bit more about that from my colleague Luis Rivera.
Yes.
But essentially it's Black progressive politicians, the city of LA, like Council President Wesson, Price, Harris Dawson, individuals like that have championed social equity as being the only avenue to get a retail license in the city of LA.
I noticed. You know what? Now that I notice, I'm into the retail market of garments, so I'm always downtown LA. And I remember on every corner of LA, it was 2 or 3 dispensaries. I've been down going out for the last month. They've been shut down.
Oh, yeah.
So the city's closing them down, getting them in compliance, or if you was running it, shut it down. You're not going to jail. Don't open this door again. Here's your application and apply.
Let me give you a stat that you're going to love here.
Yeah.
The city of LA in the past few years has went from 2,000 illegal shops to 200. That's like the latest figures. That's
great. I think
making
it's great.
A big dent.
I think it's great because it's rolling into. I got a business in Seattle with a company called Seattle Private Reserves, and I knew about this in 2013. It was already state of Washington was already legalized, and we went to their facility, and just blew me away. How, like you said, the tracking system they call it seed to sell. And how the LCD takes the seed, extracts the biometrics, and it put it in the system. So that investigator can go to any dispensary, give me that, take a piece, go outside in the van, and he can tell you when it was processed, when it was grew, when it was cultivated, trimmed, ordered, and distributed. And you know what I mean? So when I heard that California was trying to go here to that level, recreational, I knew they had an uphill battle on learning from like the state of Oregon and Seattle, Washington. So they're trying to get their own thing going, but it's a great system. No fungus, no bugs, no pesticides. They use strictly CO2, not butane. I mean, it's just a clean processing system out there, and it's legal. You know what I mean? I look at, they say it's a little rough because of the taxes in it, but the processors are spending millions and millions of dollars on their facility. That's the first I learned about CBD. I didn't know nothing about CBD. We was on tour, and we was in certain parts of Washington, and certain parts were, Trump areas. And I remember going into a dispensary. We was doing a meet and greet with a couple of celebrities I work with, and it was packed. And I noticed another door that was open. I seen a lot of older people in there. So I asked the owner of the dispensary. He said, "Oh, that's my coffee shop. Go get yourself a cup of coffee." So I go back there, and all these older people looking at us, and hey, what's going on? So I noticed an old dude, about 70 years old, overweight. And he went over there, and he said, "Give me 10 snaps." I'm like, 10 snaps, you know what I mean? So the guy actually comes there every day, twice a day, to get 10 snaps of CBD in his coffee. He said he had rheumatoid arthritis for over 2 years. He comes here every day, no medical, no pills, no nothing. And that's what drew my interest to CBD.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And I remember going around learning more, and they gave me a big jug of it. And they said, "Arnold, just put a couple drops in your coffee every day." And my arthritis, my knees are gone. You know what I mean? I'm constantly, and I'm looking for it now. It's just so expensive.
That's amazing.
I mean? Yeah, but
and the passage of the Farm Bill in 2018
I heard about
really
that.
helps
We met some
with
people.
truly bringing CBD to the masses here.
Yes.
In across the country, really.
Yeah.
Before you couldn't even transport hemp from one state to
Right.
another without getting potentially in trouble with the feds or the local highway patrol. Now a lot of that has been cleared up, but there's still some major issues. The FDA, the Federal Drug Administration, you have to clear a lot of products, especially that we consume through them, and they don't have clear guidelines on how to handle CBD.
Exactly.
So you might see CBD products. I live up the street from a CVS. I see CBD products. They got them there, and I was like, "Wow, that's interesting." Went to go do some research on it. They're not even compliant.
See,
They shouldn't even be on the shelves.
The
actually,
company.
So CVS is in violation. So is the company.
Wow.
And it's because the FDA has just not been clear on their testing standards and then their process to go through in order for it to be an FDA certified like product. So apparently they say it may not be clear for the next 3 to 5 years.
Wow.
There's Congress people that are right now in this moment pushing for that to happen in the next year, not 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Because people need medication.
Yes.
Individuals like yourself, the one you mentioned earlier, need access to this. So the laws really got to catch up.
Well, I know there's people invested in it. I just got word a few months ago. Me and the CEO took a ride to the Valley to this company that just strictly number business, and they saying that they're trying to beat Philip Morris, the cigarette tobacco company, just purchased a million acres of farmland just for hemp.
Oh wow!
Just to grow hemp. So,
what are your guys' thoughts on big tobacco and all of this?
Like I said, it's open up. So, if it's the difference is, if I want fire, I'm gonna get fire. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna make sure I find it.
We're gonna get the fire.
Get that E3
Now,
fire.
you get that E3 ether, OG. But Joseph Chica, I really appreciate you coming in, giving us some background on you and your company, and I definitely look forward to working with you in the very near future.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot to unpack here. Big opportunities. Again, just in closing on my end is to the audience, pay attention to what happens in the city of LA, especially in the next couple months. A big opportunity for the individuals that were most affected by the war on drugs.
Yes.
Literally have preference in licensing.
I heard about that. Boom, boom, boom.
It's a massive opportunity.
Yep.
Folks got to be dialed in on that.
Dialed in.
Because frankly, and I'll close on this point, it is unjust for an individual that looks like you or I.
Yes.
On the streets of South LA, whose life has been
Impacted.
affected.
Yes.
For an offense.
Yes.
Right, of maybe they're carrying a bag of weed, a couple bags of weed, whatever.
Yeah.
That same action now is not only legal, but is being highly profitable to big corporations
here right
in the city and across state and across the country. So that individual whose life was literally disrupted for something that's now legal, that individual should get a fair shake to access the industry, access the jobs, access the opportunity, and that's what the city of LA is getting ready to do. So
that's what I've been hearing. The city of Compton is there already.
Oh yeah,
I didn't want to put that out there.
Oh,
you hear me out there, homeboys? That's been arrested and went to jail and did time for medical marijuana, recreational back in the days. Get it together. You can get a business.
Yeah.
Before we close, tell everybody they can get in contact with you or your company.
Yeah, thank you. So we're at www.cannabisadvising.com.
That's what?
www.cannabisadvising.com.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, and then I could be reached at actually, if people just reach out to me directly at 818-357-0384, they could reach me there at my cell directly, and happy to answer any questions that folks may have about the process. For me, it's about bringing value, helping folks move in the industry. So if people want to pick my brain on how to navigate the process and all that, I'm happy and available to do it. And I thank you guys for the incredible work that you guys are doing to raise awareness and getting this industry off in the right footing.
I thank you, and I really do thank you. And to our viewers and listeners out there, if you want to get in contact with this company, you can always go to his website or go to NUGL.com. And I'm pretty sure we'll have a link to your website, and they can see what you're all about. And I appreciate it. Let's give Joseph a hand, man. Thank you so much.